Have you ever been totally stumped trying to identify a plant? Especially when its most striking features aren't maybe what you'd expect. What if the most captivating part of a plant wasn't its flower at all? Today, we're diving deep into Mascagnia Macroptera. Bit of a mouthful, I know. But you might know it better as the butterfly vine, maybe the yellow orchid vine, or even Gallinita. And our insights for this deep dive come from a really interesting entry in Notes on Gardening, part 608.
Yeah, and our mission for you today is really to unpack the unique characteristics of this evergreen vine. We're going to explore its surprising detail that initially stumped even an experienced observer, which is always fascinating. This plant, it really offers a perfect example of why it's so important to look beyond the obvious sometimes, to really see what's going on in the natural world.
That's such a key point. So the source kicks off with this great little story. The observer, Ang, apparently took a few weeks, actually, to finally ID this vine after buying it. And the main reason,
Yeah.
the main obstacle, they kept mistaking the green seed pods for the actual flower. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Going down that whole botanical rabbit hole based on that.
Absolutely. And it's incredibly relatable, that confusion. It's understandable. I mean, we're sort of conditioned, aren't we, to look for the flashy, colorful blooms first.
Right. That's the main event, usually.
Exactly. But what's so fascinating here is that sometimes, maybe often, a plant's most distinctive features aren't its flowers at all. And this misidentification, it actually points directly to one of the Mascagnia Macroptera's most unique, most celebrated aspects. It forces you to kind of reevaluate what makes a plant showy.
Yeah, reevaluating what's showy.
Yeah.
I like that. And speaking of features, this plant has quite a few common names. We've got butterfly vine, yellow orchid vine, and Gallinita. So for you listening, what do these names immediately make you think of? What clues are right there?
Well, they really are keys, aren't they? Once you connect them to the plant's true nature, they unlock its dual beauty. Let's start with yellow orchid vine, because despite that initial mix-up with the seed pods, the plant absolutely does produce flowers.
Okay, so it does have proper flowers.
Oh, yes. The source tells us they're clusters of bright yellow orchid-shaped blooms. Really pretty. And, while the original observer hadn't snapped pictures of them yet, a quick look online confirms they are quite vibrant, quite beautiful.
Okay, so yellow orchid vine makes perfect sense now. Those blooms sound lovely. But then butterfly vine, that really grabs my attention, especially given our chat about those green seed pods. How does that fit in?
Oh, well, that's where the plant gets truly unique. That's its most distinctive feature, arguably. The seed pods. The source describes them as papery, winged, and remarkably resembling butterflies.
Wow.
Yeah, they're absolutely captivating. It's easy to see why they'd catch the eye, maybe even more than the flowers for some people. And then, as you mentioned, there's Gallinita. Now, that one's still a bit of a puzzle.
Okay.
The source just lists it as another name. It doesn't really elaborate on, why. Maybe it's a regional thing, a local name.
Interesting. A little mystery left over.
A little mystery. But the butterfly pods, those are undeniably the stars of the show, identity-wise.
So the very thing that caused the initial confusion, the thing that tripped Ang up, actually became the plant's signature feature. It's almost like a little botanical joke the plant is playing.
Kinda, yeah. And you mentioned metamorphosis earlier, thinking about butterflies, maybe.
Yeah, that description of the pods. Is there more to it than just the shape?
There is. What's really intriguing is their transformation, their journey. These butterfly pods, they start out chartreuse, which is that lovely, bright, light green color. But then as they mature, they shift. They change to a tan or brown color.
Oh, okay.
And this color change, it adds another whole layer to their visual appeal. It makes the resemblance to actual butterflies even more striking, almost like they're aging or changing with the seasons. These pods are definitely one of the plant's most distinctive features. That's why it's so popular with gardeners.
Right. It's not just a fleeting flower moment.
Exactly. It's about the whole aesthetic across different seasons. It gives you that multi-season interest, keeps things visually interesting in the garden for longer.
So wrapping this up then, the Mascagnia Macroptera is really a plant of sort of dual beauty. It's celebrated for both its bright, showy yellow flowers and these truly unique butterfly-like seed pods. We started with a bit of confusion, an observer sent down the wrong path, and we ended up discovering that the very source of that confusion points to its most remarkable features. It's like nature's little optical illusion.
It really is. And, this raises a bigger question for all of us, I think. How often do we maybe overlook the truly fascinating details right in front of us in the natural world, simply because, well, they don't fit our initial expectations, what we think we should be looking for?
That's a really good point.
What other sort of hidden beauties might you discover if you just look a little closer, maybe beyond the obvious bloom? It encourages you, doesn't it, to consider plants not just for their flowers, but for the surprising artistry in all their parts. The leaves, the stems, the seed pods.
A great reminder to look closer.